The observation deck hummed with anticipation as Commander Velthar of the Galactic Coalition Survey Corps reviewed the personnel file one more time. Emma Chen, human, age 24, with qualifications that seemed almost insulting in their ordinariness. No genetic modifications, no cybernetic enhancements, not even basic neural interfacing. Just a baseline human who had somehow passed the written examinations. "This is a mistake," hissed Velthar's second-in-command, a serpentine slith named Raxor. "The Crucible has a 97% fatality rate. Even our best candidates rarely survive the first trial." Velthar's four eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of resigned agreement. The Crucible, officially designated Planet XR-847, was the Coalition's ultimate proving ground. A Deathworld where only the strongest, most adaptable species could hope to establish survey outposts. It had killed Kryn warriors bred for combat, Vosh explorers with crystalline exoskeletons, and Thel telepaths who could predict danger before it struck. "The humans signed the waivers," Velthar said. "She understands the risks." Emma stood in the deployment bay, running through her checklist with methodical precision. Her partner, Harry Morrison, adjusted the straps on his environment suit, his weathered face creased with something between a smile and a grimace. "You nervous, kid?" Harry asked, though at 42 he was barely older than her in the cosmic scheme of things. "Terrified," Emma admitted, her voice steady despite the admission. "But that's never stopped us before, has it?" Harry laughed, the sound echoing in his helmet. "Nope, terror's just another data point." The SLEF technician overseeing their deployment recoiled slightly. These humans spoke of fear as if it were merely weather to be endured. Incomprehensible. The drop pod screamed through XR-847's atmosphere, temperatures spiking to levels that would have vaporized most species' shielding. Emma watched the readouts climb past tolerances marked in angry red, then shrugged. Human engineers always built in extra margins. "Trust the math," her instructors had said. They hit ground hard. The pod's door blew open, revealing a jungle that seemed to writhe with hostile intent. The air red as toxic, sulfur compounds that would corrode Kryn lungs, spore concentrations that would overwhelm Thel filters. Harry and Emma checked their seals and stepped out into hell. "First marker's 2 kilometers northeast," Harry said, consulting his tablet. "Through that." That was a wall of vegetation that appeared to be breathing, lined with thorns that wept some kind of acidic sap. Emma pulled out a machete, actual steel, not plasma cutters or molecular blades, and started hacking. On the observation deck, Velthar leaned forward. "They're using primitive tools." "Primitive but effective," noted another observer, a floating Quen orb. "No energy signature to attract predators. Clever." The humans pushed through the jungle with agonizing slowness. Every 50 meters brought a new horror. Insects the size of dogs with mandibles that could shear through durasteel, ground that suddenly liquefied into acidic mud, plants that launched poisonous barbs with enough force to penetrate armor. Emma's suit took a barb to the shoulder. The puncture alarm screamed. Without hesitation, Harry slapped a patch over the hole while Emma calmly held her breath, then used their emergency resin to seal the breach from inside. 30 seconds, problem solved. "They're treating a catastrophic suit breach like a minor inconvenience," Raxor observed, his scales rippling with disbelief. The first marker was a beacon that needed activation, proof of arrival. But it sat in a clearing occupied by what the survey data had classified as an apex predator. The creature was 8 meters of scaled fury, with 6 legs and a maw that dripped venom. Harry studied it through his scope. "Ambush predator. See how it's positioned near the water source?" "Waiting for prey to come to it. So we don't go to the water," Emma said. She pulled out 3 flares, tied them to a length of cord, and lit them. Then she threw the whole assembly into the trees on the far side of the clearing. The predator's head snapped toward the light and noise. It charged, shaking the ground with each step. The moment it cleared the beacon, Emma and Harry sprinted across the clearing, activated the marker, and dove into the jungle on the opposite side. "Distraction and misdirection," Velthar said quietly. "They didn't fight it. They didn't even try to use their weapons. Because fighting wastes energy," the Quen noted. "They're thinking in terms of resource management, not glory." The second marker required scaling a cliff face that was home to flying creatures with beaks that could pierce metal. The third sat in the middle of a steam vent field where temperatures fluctuated between boiling and freezing every 30 seconds. Emma and Harry adapted to each challenge with frustrating ease. They used the steam vents timing to cross in the cold intervals. They climbed the cliff at night when the flying creatures roosted. When they encountered a river too toxic to cross, they didn't try to ford it. They walked 3 kilometers upstream, found where it narrowed, and built a bridge from fallen logs. 72 hours after deployment, they stood at the final marker. Both were exhausted, their suits patched in a dozen places, but they were alive. Emma activated the recall beacon. On the observation deck, silence reigned. The humans hadn't just survived, they'd thrived. No other species had reached even 3 markers. Emma and Harry had cleared all 7. When they emerged from decontamination, Velthar was waiting. Congratulations, Surveyors Chen and Morrison. You've passed the crucible. Your graduation ceremony will be... Actually, Emma interrupted, we'd like to request permission to run it again. 4 sets of eyes blinked in astonishment. Again? Harry grinned. We made mistakes. Took wrong turns, wasted supplies. Now we know the terrain. I bet we could shave 20 hours off our time. Plus, Emma added, we found some interesting mineral deposits near Marker 5. Someone should document those properly. Velthar stared at these impossible creatures who treated Deathworlds like training grounds and nightmares like interesting puzzles. In that moment, he understood why humanity had been such a disruptive force in galactic civilization. They didn't conquer through superior strength or technology. They conquered through sheer, stubborn refusal to accept that anything was impossible. Request approved, Velthar said finally. But I'm coming with you this time. I need to understand how you do this. Emma and Harry exchanged glances, then smiled. Sure, Emma said. Fair warning, though. You'll want to bring extra water. It gets hot out there.